Good day everyone, I am Hero Franco Quizol, and in this presentation I will discuss on the topic pelicans. So this presentation will go through following this outline. The first is I will discuss on the taxonomy, then I will discuss on the general information of pelicans, then the families under it, then the spatial distribution or the distribution of pelicans worldwide, and then finally I will discuss on the adaptive structures and mechanisms of pelicans. So for the taxonomy, presented in this slide is the taxonomical hierarchy of pelicans. As you can see, pelicans belong to the class Aves under the order Pelicaniformes, under the family Pelicanidae, and genus Pelicanus. There are 8 species of pelicans under this genus. So these species, or the 8 species of pelicans, can live to about 10 to 25 years. They have an average size of 5.8 feet and can weigh to about 30 pounds. Their wingspan is about 10 feet. So pelicans can be distinguished from their gular pouch, their long hooked bill, their long necks, and short webbed feet with 4 toes. Pelicans are carnivorous, and although they specialize in eating fish, they can also eat crustaceans, amphibians, turtles, and other birds. So the Australian pelican, or Pelicanus conspiculatus, is a bird that can grow to about 1 to 1.9 meters, and their wingspan is about 2.5 to 3.4 meters. They can be distinguished from their white plumage, black primary feathers, and black markings on the tail and lower back. They have gray head and white face. Their eyes are yellow to brown, and their legs are blue to gray, and finally, their pale pink large bills. So the next species is of pelicans is the Dalmatian pelican, Pelicanus crispus. The Dalmatian pelican is labeled as vulnerable in the IUCN Red List. This is also the largest known pelican species, and they can grow to about 5.3 feet to 6 feet in length. Their wingspan of 8 feet to 11 feet and 6 inches. They can be distinguished from other pelican species as they have curly nape feathers and silvery white rather than pure white plumage. In winter, the adult Dalmatian pelicans can go from silvery gray to about dingier brownish gray cream color. They have gray legs, and their loose feathers around the forehead of the Dalmatian pelican can form a W-like shape on the face right above the bill. In the breeding season, it has an orange to red lower mandible, and their pouch is again yellow to upper mandible. In winter, the whole bill is somewhat dull yellow, and the bare skin around the eye can vary from yellow to purplish in color. Another species of pelicans is the Pelicanus erythrorhynchus, or the American white pelicans. These species are commonly known as the rough-billed pelicans. They are considered as the least concerned species, and they can grow to about 62 inches with an average wingspan of 108 inches. These species are identified with their white plumage with their black flight feathers that are visible when their wings are extended. They have black primary and secondary flight feathers. Outside the breeding season, the naked bare parts such as the facial skin has a dull yellow color, and the bill and the pouch has an orangey flesh color. The feet can be notably red to orange in color as well. In the breeding season, there is a laterally flattened horn on the upper bill. This is located to about 1/3 of the bill's length behind the tip. This is the only species that can have a bill horn, and their horn is shed after the birds have mated and laid their eggs. Unlike some of its pelican counterparts, American white pelicans do not dive for food but scoop it up for while swimming, and they prefer to hunt in groups so they might feed easier by chasing the prey to one another. The next species is the Pelicanus occidentalis, or the brown pelican. It is categorized as a least concerned species. The brown pelican, or Pelicanus, is the smallest of all pelican species. It can grow to about 48 inches with a wingspan of 85 inches. This species can be recognized easily because of their unique pencil lead gray bodies and blackish flight feathers. During nesting season, the brown pelican sports a chocolate brown and hind neck. At other times, it is white-necked. Yellow adorns the bird's crown at all seasons but is richer during breeding season. The pink skin around the eyes become dull and dry in non-breeding season. Brown pelican's throat pouch is olive to red in breeding season. The brown pelican is the only pelican species that is a plunge diver, capturing fish after diving from an often spectacular height above the water. Another species is the Pelicanus ornaculatus, or the great white pelicans. These pelicans are also known as the white pelican, eastern white pelican, or the rosy pelicans. This species is considered also as a least concerned species. They are large pelicans that can grow from 55 to 71 inches. Their wingspan can reach to about 7 feet and 5 inches to about 11 feet. Males are slightly larger than females. Great white pelicans are white in color with black and gray primary feathers. Their bodies are large with long broad wings and attached. They have a short tail, short pinkish leg, and webbed feet. There is a bare pink or yellow facial patch around their eyes. Their spectacular bills are azure blue on the top and yellow underneath, where the bill has a central red stripe and ends in a small red hook. The great white pelican's chest and the throat may have pinkish or yellowish orange coloration. This depends on the breeding season. In breeding conditions, the male has pinkish skin on the face and the female has yellowish or orange skin. The next species is the Peruvian pelican, or the Pelicanus thagus. This species is considered near threatened species. They can grow to about 5 feet in length and their wingspan is about 7.5 feet. Adult Peruvian pelicans can be identified through their silvery gray with pale yellow to white head and necks. In breeding, the plumage, the back, and the sides of the head turn into a rich, dark reddish brown. They have long tufted feathers on the top of their heads. The bill is yellowish with red lower mandible that fades to yellow towards the base of the bill. Notably, a white stripe from the top of the bill up to the crown and down at the sides of the neck are visible. Peruvian pelicans can be mistaken with brown pelicans. However, a Peruvian pelican has proportionally longer crest feathers as well as differences in the colors of the gular pouch, beak, scapulars, and greater wings coverts. Another species is the Pelicanus rufescens, or the pink-back pelicans. It is the least concerned species and they can grow to about 61 inches with a wingspan of 7 to 9.5 feet. The plumage is gray and white except for the pink back which gave the species its name. The top of the bill is yellow. Their upper wing patterns are seen with dull grayish or pink-gray terrestres, opposing their darkish white flight feathers. The bare parts of their body are paler outside during the breeding period. The pouch is usually grayish and the adults have a bright gray to pinkish yellow gular pouch and yellow bill. Black lores and thin pale pink skin around their dark eyes are visible. Meanwhile, legs can vary in color from gray to reddish or orange or even yellow but become pinkish during breeding season. These birds have feathers on their forehead stretching at the bill's base. Short crest also occurs on the nape during breeding season. Adults have long feather plumes on their head. Finally, for the last species is the spot-billed pelican, or Pelicanus philippinensis. This species is also known as the gray pelicans, spotted pelicans, or the Philippine pelicans. They are considered as a near-threatened species. They can grow to about 60 inches with a wingspan of about 7 to 8 feet. Mature pre-breeding spotted pelicans are generally gray dorsally and blending to white ventrally with a fairly long brownish-gray crest, with brownish-brown tails. The eye ring and most facial skin is an orange to yellow in color, though the skin in front of each eye is bright purple. The wings are gray with dark brown to black tips and dull white to slightly pink undersides. The bill is pinkish to yellow-orange in color, with large bluish black spots or smears on the sides and a dull purple pouch that is also blotted with bluish black. Legs of very dark brown to black skin, and after the breeding season, mature spotted-billed pelican lose some of its brilliance in their facial coloring, becoming duller. Male spot-billed pelicans are slightly larger than females. The spotted pelican or the Philippine pelican is the only pelican species ever recorded to inhabit the islands. The species was first documented in 1789 and they were commonly observed in Davao Gulf, Candaba Swamp in Pampanga, Laguna de Bay, and the coastal regions of Bulacan in the pre-war years. It used to thrive also in Lake Buluan and Liguasan Marsh in central Mindanao, but widespread hunting and opening of new farms, deforestation and introduction of invasive plants and uncontrolled poaching eventually led to its extinction. The last sighting was recorded in 1972 and it became extinct there in mid-20th century. The spot-billed pelican or Pelicanus philippinensis can only be found in Southeast Asia. Their strongholds now are in India, Sri Lanka, southern Cambodia, and the coastal areas of Sumatra. The Philippine pelican has been observed roaming along the coasts of India and Ceylon in Sri Lanka, Burma in Myanmar, Malay Peninsula, southern China, Hainan, Java, Luzon, and Mindanao. The Australian pelican is found throughout the Australia, Papua New Guinea, and western Indonesia with occasional reports in New Zealand and various western Pacific islands. The Dalmatian pelican's habitats ranges from eastern Europe to China. They build their nests near the swamps and shallow lakes and lagoons. American white pelicans live in large colonies in inland regions of North America. They migrate south as far as Central America in the winter. The brown pelican inhabit the eastern coastline of North America down to the northern Chile. Their colonies can also be found on the island of Saut and the mouth of Amazon River. The great white pelican inhabit the swamp and shallow lakes of Africa, Eastern Europe, and Asia. The Peruvian pelican lives in the west coast of South America from Lobos de Tierra Island in Peru to Papuya Islet in Chile. Finally, the pink-backed pelicans or Pelicanus rufescens are native to Africa, southern Arabia, and they are rare but regular non-breeding visitors come to extreme as South Egypt and is vagrant to Morocco, Canary Islands, and Israel. For the adaptations, the pelican's beak is sensitive to vibrations that it helps locate fish in murky water. The tip of the pelican's upper mandible, or the top half of the bill, has a hook which helps them grab onto particularly slippery or wiggly fish. The beak is contoured to slice the surface of the water at a high speed with almost no drag. After locating and scooping up its prey, the pelicans open up its bill and slowly contracts its pouch to empty out the water and keep the fish inside. Then, with a jerk of the bird's head, the fish slides down to the hatch. If a fish is particularly large, the pelican might manipulate it so that the fish goes down the head first. This helps them keep it from being stuck. A pelican can't eat or fly away if its pouch is still full of water, so the draining process is very important. The next adaptation is the nictitating membrane. A nictitating membrane is a third eyelid that is translucent or clear. It is used as an extra level of safety for the eyes and allows the pelicans to still see underwater while affording its eyes while affording its eyes an additional amount of protection. This slides over the eyes like a swimming goggles. So another is the covered nostrils. In all 8 species, the nostrils are sealed off, buried under the beak's horny sheath. This doesn't mean that the cavities are functionless, though the hidden nostrils houses a special glands which remove the excess salt from the bloodstream. Since pelicans and other maritime birds ingest seawater to survive, this trait is a real lifesaver. Because their nostrils are weird off and clogged up by the desalinizing glands, it should come as no surprise that pelicans predominantly breathe through their mouth. So for the next set of adaptations, we can see here the gular pouch. The gular pouch is a thick layer of skin made from reinforced collagen fibers. The gular pouch is located on the lower mandible and connected to the throat. Pelicans use this flap of skin to scoop fish out of the water. This can hold like a dinner plate for the regurgitated fish for its cheeks. And this gular flap is even used to cool itself on a hot day. The pelican's gular pouch is unique that it can hold to about 3 times more than its stomach, and it can hold about 3 gallons and up to 24 pounds in that supple sack of skin. This also helps the pelican to slow down when diving as it pops open like a parachute. It helps them in fishing. So the next adaptation is the plumage. The pelican plumage is waterproof due to the secretion of preen glands, which the bird rubs with its back and the head before transferring oil to its plumage. The secretions of the preen gland empty to the skin surface through one or more nipple-like pores. Most birds preen by rubbing their bill and the head over the preen gland and the pore, then rubbing the accumulated over the feathers of the body and the wings to the skin and the legs and the feet. The oil is thought to help to preserve the integrity of the feather structure, and in some species it is believed to be useful in preserving the horny structure of the bill and the scales of the legs. So the next adaptation is the webbed feet of the pelicans. Pelicans have short, strong legs and the webbed feet that facilitate in swimming. In the geese and ducks, the webbing is only present between the 3 toes that point forward. None is connected to the fourth toe, which are the aforementioned species, is small and oriented to the opposite direction. Pelicans are different. They have totipalmate feet, which means that each foot there is a webbing that connects all 4 toes. So for the last set of adaptations is found all over the birds, which are the hollow bones. These hollow bones give them the light weight that is required for flying. Bird bones aren't just hollows, they are pneumatized. That is, they are full of spaces for air. Nearly all bones contain air sacs that are connected with the respiratory system. Pelicans have pneumatic foramina that cushions the impact when pelicans plummet. They take a deep breath and air rushes into these tiny caverns. This also makes the pelican float. The adaptation is found in all birds, and these hollow bones give them the light weight that is required for flying. The last adaptation is the air sacs on skin. Pelicans have special air sacs beneath their skin. They use this to inflate just before the impact when plummeting to protect the internal organs. And as they dive, they rotate to the left to avoid injuring their trachea and esophagus, which run along the right side of their neck. These air sacs connected with the lungs from the spongy mattress that presumably protects the earth as it strikes from the water. The appearance of this structure in the species of pelicans do not plunge, that do not plunge suggests that the buoyancy of it confers maybe advantages for itself. So here are the references that are used for this presentation. Thank you for listening to this presentation.